into the presentation, I do want to point out that we will be giving out a tablet to our 100th registrant at the end of today's call, so stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of great stuff today. We actually have a couple special guest speakers on the call. First off, we have Carrie Levinson, who is the president of Levinson Associates. My name is Joe Loughran. I'm the marketing VP. And then we have another special guest speaker, Deb Hagedorn from Transamerica. So I'm going to actually get started with today's call. The first thing I want to touch on are some of our upcoming webinars that we have on the schedule for the remainder of this week. As usual, we do record every single webinar session. You can visit the carrielevinson.com website to register for any of these upcoming training sessions. You can also visit our YouTube channel, which if you go to YouTube and type in Levinson and the number 1, you'll be able to view about 70-plus different videos on anything from our exclusive marketing platforms to our free agent tools, even some of the extra elite programs we're going to be talking about today. So first off, tomorrow we actually have a special webinar at 2 p.m. Eastern, which covers the single premium whole life product available through Forster's Life. Then on Monday, which is the 22nd, at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have about a half-an-hour training session on our e-policy delivery platform. If you have not used that e-delivery platform yet, I highly suggest taking a look at that. That training runs for about 30-35 minutes. With that e-policy delivery platform, you can actually electronically deliver your policies the same day that they're approved, which saves about a week and a half to 2 weeks out of the entire policy cycle time. So no more waiting for snail mail, having to mail the policy and wait for delivery requirements to come back. You can electronically deliver them through email the same day they are approved, which not only gets you paid much faster as an agent, but also lets your client have coverage much sooner than waiting for those delivery requirements to be mailed back and forth between the agent and the home office. On Tuesday, which is the 23rd, at 2 p.m. Eastern, we have a special annuity product training. We're going over some annuity basics, some sales ideas. We're going to be talking about some of the great platforms that are available by actually writing your annuity business through Levinson Associates. We do have a special in-house annuity division, which is headed up by Josh Hoffman. He is at extension 23. So any annuity questions you have or for more information on registering for that webinar, reach out to Josh in our office. And then Wednesday, which is the 24th, at 3 p.m. Eastern, we have a special webinar on disability income training. So we're going to be talking about disability income products 101, what potential prospects or clients are going to be a match for disability products. We're also going to talk a little bit about the underwriting, what you need to know to actually get started in that DI marketplace. So I'm actually going to introduce Carrie Levinson, again, who is the president of Levinson Associates. He's going to speak to us about our upcoming annual Expo, which is April 24th, 2015. Carrie? Carrie, are you there? Oh, it looks like Carrie's audio may not be connected, so I'll go ahead and cover this slide. Our annual Expo actually next year is April 24th, 2015. Basically, every single year we have an annual Expo where agents come in from across the country. We have our top carriers in attendance. We cover anything from new sales ideas, new concepts. It's a full day. It actually is a Friday. So what we do is we actually help you get to the Expo if you don't qualify with these different agent incentive programs. So, of course, the Expo is free for all agents to attend. You'll see here we have 3 different qualification levels. The first starts at $15,000 of paid premium. The qualification date actually started September 1st. So what you'll be able to do is qualify on these different levels. Not only can you actually have access to a free night at that beachfront resort, but you can also qualify for free round-trip airfare depending on which level you qualify for. If you have not attended one of the Expos before, I highly recommend attending. We cover a lot of great sales concepts, a lot of great ideas for the upcoming year. My next slide is on our iGenius platform. This is really something that we pride ourselves on. We have a lot of different agent tools that are available by working through Levinson Associates. A couple of these different platforms are key topics I want to discuss. Obviously, we don't have enough time to go through each bullet, but I do want to stress, of course, at the top, our full back office support. That includes an agent resource website, both at carrielevinson.com and a free agent website that we provide at insprofessional.com for you as the agent. If you're just new with us or getting started, or even if you're a veteran agent, I highly recommend taking a look at this iGenius platform, because a lot of times there'll be different bullets or discounts or free tools that we'll provide that you may not have been aware of in the past. Another great thing about the iGenius platform is, as a Levinson agent, you have access to some of our exclusive product offerings. One product that I'll touch on very briefly is the brand new English term product. This was actually launched in April of 2014. It was actually featured in the Broker World magazine in the September edition. For the first time ever, we have a product where your clients can actually be approved instantly. They go through a simple 5-question application. What's especially important to note is this is all done with an electronic link, an electronic application that your client can access directly from your agent website, or by even sending out an email to that client. They can access that link and apply for coverage 100% on their own with no agent involvement. There is unisex and unismoker rates. An example here is an actual sample quote. We have a 39 male smoker, $100,000 of 30-year term is just $24.50 per month. Now, again, that's an online application. It is actually approved instantly. Policies are mailed out within a couple days. So that is an exclusive platform that's available to all Levinson agents. And then on the right-hand side, we have a University Plus product, which is actually our children's whole life product that is paired with our exclusive scholarship platform. One other thing I want to mention before we get into the multiple lead programs, we do have a brand new Facebook quote engine. So if you're using any of our social media platforms, you can actually put this on your Facebook page. You can actually allow clients to run quotes on that Facebook page and then link that to your free agent website. So that's just another tool that's available through that iGenius platform. Before we get into some of the lead programs, I do want to talk about one of our more recent iGenius tools, which is the email marketing tool. A lot of the things we're going to be covering today center around marketing to clients. One thing I do want to touch on is we have a great sales opportunity. We actually partner with an industry-leading email marketing firm. So what you can do is you can actually blast email your clients, whether it's an existing prospect or maybe someone who's already purchased insurance. You can build a list. You can target specific consumers based on which product, whether it's annuity or disability income or final expense products. We actually designed all the email templates for you. So you can actually go into this system, integrate it with social media, pick a template, and start to email blast your clients and keep your name in front of them. So that tool is available today. We can custom design templates, or you can pick. We've got about 150 different templates that are available to you. Another great thing I want to touch on before we get into the brand new final expense lead program is our mortgage lead program. We've been running the mortgage lead program for about 2+ years now. The great thing about this program is they are not shared. They're exclusive to each agent. The minimum order is 10. We order these every single week. The way that this platform works is we actually partnered with a lead program that is mailing out to consumers after they purchase a home. So these are new homeowners receiving a mailer. They're actually filling out all their contact information and sending that lead card back in. So what you're receiving is that request from a client to actually be contacted to review different types of insurance coverages. There's no minimum order, so you can order week to week. We do process the leads every Monday morning, so you'll receive an email requesting if you'd like to participate. If so, those leads are delivered the following day. So you're going to actually receive those leads on Tuesday. It is a co-op program. We've negotiated the price down, and all that we ask is that any business that's produced through that lead program actually is processed through Levinson Associates. Also, we have a great legacy safeguard program. This is perfect for final expense marketing. If you are in the final expense arena or you're just getting started, the legacy safeguard program is something that you have access to through working with Levinson Associates. This not only provides end-of-life planning, guiding, and assistance to your clients, but also to any of those beneficiaries that may survive that client. So an example would be if I sold a final expense policy to a client and enrolled them in the legacy safeguard platform, they have access to discounts on estate planning, legal documents. They have access to estate planning attorneys. They can actually get support in negotiating the cost of that funeral arrangement. They'll even help with travel assistance for the surviving beneficiaries of any client that you work with. This comes at no cost to the client or the agent. It's just another perk. If you're interested, we can actually send you out a mailer this afternoon, and you'll actually get a whole kit that will explain all the different features. And I'll see if Carrie, if you're on, I'm not sure if your audio is working. If you'd like to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker at this time, that'd be great. Oh, it looks like we're still having audio issues with Carrie. So what I'd like to do is actually transfer over the presentation power to Deb Hagedorn. Deb, are you with us on the call?
Yes, good afternoon.
Excellent. So Deb Hagedorn is actually our marketing VP with Transamerica. She's going to touch on some of the final expense products and then actually walk us through this exclusive final expense lead program that we're covering today.
All right, thanks, Joe. And wanted to also thank the Levinson Agency for this opportunity to visit with you folks today. What we're going to do is first cover Transamerica's final expense products. We have a short portfolio, try to keep it simple. We'll take a quick look at the application and give you a few sales ideas. And then once we finish with that product piece of it, we will proceed into the actual lead program and walk you through kind of how that works and the process and so forth. So today we're going to talk about really the solutions portfolio. We have an immediate solution, a 10-pay, and an easy solution.
Hey, Deb, I'm sorry. I think you may need to click the Show My Screen button.
I had already done so.
Okay, let me just switch it back to me, and then we'll try it again here. I think there was a little glitch in the software here. Let me just try that real quick.
Did it work that time?
Let's see. Nope, I do not see your slides here.
I got okay. I got the box and to show my screen, and I said okay. So that's really strange.
Okay, you know what I'll do? If you just want to continue in the meantime, I will actually pull up the slides here and see if I can get them up and running. But go ahead, and I'll get that fixed on our end.
Oh, okay, very good. Well, I apologize for that. The Transamerica advantage, I think that we bring to not only the producers, but also the consumers, is we've got a very strong name recognition. Transamerica has been around for over 100 years, and it's a very trusted brand, if you will. We continue to see strong and stable financial ratings, and really have, in addition to the final expense, a very wide portfolio of products that's going to meet a lot of your customers' needs. So with the final expense, we have the immediate solution, and that provides, of course, immediate death benefit. The 10-pay solution, also immediate, and then we have the easy solution, which is a graded death benefit, and we'll get into a little more detail about that as we go through this. The final expense products obviously are a simplified issue. Key market for issue ages 45 to 85. You know, a lot of Gen X people that you can go and visit with. The way we've designed our application, it's a waterfall application, so that you have a good idea as you're asking those health questions. That app is going to guide you to which products available and even which underwriting class would be applicable. There's no medical exams required, and typically these things are going to come in and be processed within 48 to 72 hours. So we'll talk a little bit about the immediate solution. That's kind of the key or lead product. Level premiums to age 121, whole life product. Male, female, preferred standard, and tobacco, non-tobacco for risk classes. We have issue ages that are range all the way from 0 to 85, and depending on that issue age, it'll determine the maximum face amount that your client can qualify for. We do go all the way up to $50,000 up to age 55, so that's a huge plus. We have a couple endorsements available. There's the accelerated death benefit endorsement, of course, and that's where the client can access, or the owner can access, the death benefit if the insured is diagnosed 12 months or less to live in most states. And then we also have an accelerated death benefit for nursing home benefit, and that is automatically included and available if the insured qualifies, and that'll be based on application questions. There's a couple additional riders available, just accidental death benefit, and then there's also a children or grandchildren rider. And the way that works is just simply term insurance on each child or grandchild named in the application, and there's a limit of 9 that can be added. And the face amount on those would be a minimum of $1,000, and the max is the lesser of $5,000 or the base amount. So that's something that's a little bit unique as well. The 10-pay solution is really identical to the immediate solution that we just talked about, except the premiums are a little bit higher but paid up during a 10-year period, and then there's no more premiums needed. Same endorsements, same underwriting classes, same face amount. There is no rider availability, though, on the 10-pay version of this. And then the third product we'll talk about is the graded death benefit, which we refer to as the easy solution. And with this particular product, if the insured would die within the first 2 policy years, the death benefit is going to be limited to 110% of premiums paid, of course minus any loan balance. And then the insured would be eligible for the full death benefit beginning in the 3rd policy year. We don't have a 10-year option to do this one, and we do not have any riders that are available with this one, but the face amounts for this are basically limited to a max of $25,000, issue ages 18 to 80, and their 2 level premiums all the way to age 121. So now we'll take a quick look at the application for these products. And we basically have 2 different applications, and that's going to be determined based on the issue age. So application L123 is what will be used for anyone ages 0 through 44. There are a few additional questions on that application versus the L122, which is used for ages 45 through 85. Pretty much same questions, but a little more clarification. We have the same underwriters and the same underwriting process for both applications. And currently, the final expense is not available on IGO. That is something we're still kind of in a holding pattern on. We previously had a different final expense available, so I'm hoping one of these days this gets ironed out because it was very well received. In fact, Trans-Family Markets agents were the highest users of the IGO e-app process. So we're pushing to get that back out there quickly. So just to kind of take a snapshot of a few of the sections of the application, if within Part C1 and 2, or Part C1, if there's yes answered to any of these questions, the interview is basically over. There would not be any coverage. And in Part C3, if we answer yes to any one question, they would be eligible for the easy solution. If they answer yes to 2 or more questions, unfortunately, we would not be able to offer any coverage on that as well. The health questions in Part C4, if all of those questions are answered no, then the client is eligible for the preferred rate class on either the immediate solution or the 10-pay version of that product. If they answer yes to any one question in this section, then they would be eligible for the standard rate class. And again, 2 or more yeses would push them to the easy solution. The next screen kind of gives us a little bit of a picture of the other application, the one that's used for the younger folks, and that's the L123. Works very similarly. There's several different sections to the health questions, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there again, kind of follows the same flow. If in C2, if any questions are yes, then they're not going to be eligible for coverage. And if they can, then they proceed to the next section and then go ahead and submit the application. As far as premium calculations go, there are different modes and modal factors. If you're hand calculating this product, those are all available in the agent guide and that type of thing. And it's just very simple. You take your annual rate times your number of units times the modal factor, and then multiply it by the number of units that you're going to have and add your policy fee. So it's just pretty straightforward. But the other thing you can do is actually download the quoting system. We have these products available on Transware, which is our illustration software where all of our term products and the universal life products are all housed. It's an easy way to run a real quick quote for all of the products, and that includes the final expense. That software can be accessed through our agent website, agentnetinfo.com, and it's just simply under the software section and just choose Transamerica Life Illustration. These next couple screens just give you an idea what the illustration screen is going to look like. It's very simple, very user-friendly. You basically just have a few tabs of information, your proposed insured, and that's what we're seeing on the screen now. You can choose the policy design. Do you want to solve for the premium amount? Do you want to solve for the face amount? Pick your modal, the mode that you're paying your premium, and so on and so forth. And that also with the policy writers, you would just simply indicate if you want any of those and the number of units. There's actually a summary that then prints out, and it's just going to show you kind of the basic information like any other ledger or illustration page would. We do not have to have signed illustrations with this product, but this is just a real simple way to do a real quick quote with it. We also have this product available through an iPad application, and that allows you to generate those quotes on the go. And you can also review and compare previous quotes or go through our library of marketing materials. We've got a lot of great pieces out there. So some of the sales and marketing tools. What does your client profile look like? Well, baby boomers, seniors, that type of thing. You also could think about younger families that maybe only have term coverage. This is permanent insurance, so that might be something to consider. Mass affluent to middle market, and also possibly somebody who does not qualify for standard coverage due to their age health. Again, the health questions on the application really, that waterfall app is really going to tell you if this client possibly would be eligible for this, even though they may not be with other products. When we talk about the client profiles, the baby boomers today make up about 28% of the American population. But in just a few short years, by 2030, the age 65 and up population is probably going to be around 71.5 million and will grow to 86.7 million by 2050. So there's a lot of opportunity out there, and there's a lot more opportunity coming up as people continue to age and live longer. So when you approach the sale, of course, funeral or burial expense. It could also be a secondary policy for somebody, maybe younger people. Affordable coverage, again, it's a very simplified issue, and no medical exams are required. One of the things that we know is that the cost of funeral expenses continues to increase, and from 1960, the cost of an adult funeral was around $700, and in 2009, $6,500. Today, average is $7,755. You know, and there's always other expenses included. So people are very aware of that, and I think it's just very reassuring to know that they've got that burden, if you will, taken care of, so their family doesn't have to worry about that should something happen. Sometimes they'll object, I already have life insurance, or it's too expensive, don't need a fancy funeral, just put me in a box. Well, that's not the reality of what's going to happen when they pass. And really, a lot of times you might be talking to younger prospects, and you could approach them about any life insurance that their parents might have. Do they know if there's any life insurance? Have they thought about, if something happens to your parents, who's going to pay those final expense or debts or even taxes upon their death? And another question, do you have the work flexibility and financial freedom to accommodate those costs if something does happen to your parents? So it's not like you are necessarily only approaching the elderly or the people about their own policy, but think outside of the box to someone who might need to own a policy on an adult parent. And many Americans think that Social Security is going to pay final expense needs, but you know, a lot of them, you and I are probably aware of it, but a lot of them don't realize that the government is going to pay a one-time lump sum of a whole whopping $255 for those who qualify when they die. And if you're a vet, the VA administration might pay up to $700 toward burial and funeral expenses. That's not going to go very far, obviously. So we need to get out there and talk to people about the product we have, the benefit it's going to bring at a time when their family is going to need it the most. And the last screen we'll take a look at, if you have it up, Joe, shows our marketing materials. And we, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a wide variety of things. We have the spec sheet, which is just going to give you the quick facts, kind of in a one-page scenario of what we talked about today. There is an actual product guide that would have a lot of that information in more detail, and it would also include the rate guide section of that. We have another piece that a lot of people love. It's kind of like the old money purchase, the premiums at a glance. That's just a very shortened version. It's going to kind of tell you, here's the death benefit amount based on this amount that's paid monthly, so to speak. And then as far as consumer guides, we've got some great pieces. The consumer guide itself can talk about all three products that we covered today, the immediate solution, the 10-pay version of that, as well as the easy solution, which is the graded death benefit. And we also have a piece that's called My Last Will and Final Arrangements. And this is a great leave-behind piece that will continue to reinforce why they made this purchase, why they made this investment. And so I encourage you to go out to AgentNet Info, and under our Trans Marketing tab, that's where you can order online supplies, and we will ship those to you, standard shipping at no cost. So the other thing that I want to mention is that we do also have a few pieces that are available in Spanish. So for those of you, I'm sure there's a lot of need for that as well. So go out to AgentNet Info and take a look, and I think you'll find we've got a lot of information that will be good for you. So with that, Joe, we will transition into the actual lead program overview. and just let me know when you're ready.
Yep, go right ahead. Okay, Deb, I have that up on the screen, so whenever you're ready.
All right, very good, thank you. Okay, if the final expense lead program is something that you are interested in, the first thing you'll want to do is have a conversation with one of the key contact people at Levinson's. And they're going to help you determine if you would really benefit from that program. And they would like you to make that initial contact with them to obtain approval before you would be able to proceed with the lead order process. In order to request and buy leads with Transamerica's lead program, you have to be under contract with Transamerica. The lead order form is going to require your Trans-Family Market agent number, which is always going to start with a 97. So that has to be in place before you place your first order. And then in addition, your personal credit card is what's going to be used to place and pay for each order. Before you begin, just to give you a little background, there's the lead letter, and there's kind of a sample shown up here on the screen. It comes and it includes a postage paid return envelope for the recipient to detach the bottom portion and mail back. And the leads are sent out third-class mail, and so it can take up to a week or two to reach that final destination. The response cards, however, are returned first class, and once those come back, they are scanned right into our system on a daily basis. So the actual return lead is not going to be sent to each individual producer. Rather, it's going to be sent back to the Pennsylvania address, and those are scanned daily into the system. Now, the way we identify who paid for those leads is due to the barcode that is on the tear-off portion that's mailed back to us. Once those are scanned, it knows automatically whose account those leads need to be deposited into, if you will. So the first step is to determine your markets. And by that, what you want to do, and you're kind of always going to have to think a week ahead of time. Identify the following. What state or counties, or more specifically zip codes, are you interested in mailing to? What type of quantity? Typically, people will buy and request leads in quantity of 1,000. What demographic criteria? Most people will choose ages 50 to 80, something like this. What household income? And do you want a specific gender or both? Typically, people are going to ask for both. So those are some of the things that are pre-identified, and this is before we even start filling the order form out. Then, via Joe or somebody at Levinson's office, they can request from Transamerica a data analysis. This is no charge whatsoever, and it's going to provide you with an idea of the current lead counts that will help determine what marketable universe or zip codes you want to order and pay for leads with. In addition to that lead count, it's also going to include a solicitation history to see have any of the other distribution groups mailed to those zip codes recently, and it's going to outline the date and the quantity that were mailed, as well as the response rate that we would have gotten. And when I talk about this lead system, there's several other AGON affiliates or insurance companies that also use this lead system, and of course one of those key ones is Monumental Life, and there's a lot of agents, there's a lot of leads that are done with Monumental Life. But at any rate, this data analysis, it is optional, but it's going to help you to determine that marketable universe. So now let's take a look at the actual lead order form. It's pretty basic and pretty simple. And this is step 2. You're going to fill the lead order form out, and you would request that and have to get it from Levinson's. You complete all sections and include your signature on both pages. You must include your credit card information, and we got to be able to read that, of course. Then you submit that lead order to Joe at Levinson's, and they're going to sign off and approve that order, and they will email it into specific contact people at Transamerica. And by signing that agreement, you would understand that the lead territories are assigned on a first-come, first-served basis. No territories are necessarily guaranteed. The lead count cost with Transamerica, and I've heard this is as cheap as it gets, $322 per 1,000 leads. And that, mind you, includes the fact that we do a free data analysis for you that helps even qualify those leads a little bit better as far as I'm concerned. And you'll want to make sure that that lead order is in, because Joe's going to need to get it in by noon on Wednesday. And all orders that are in the system at noon on Wednesday are going to be mailed out a week from the following day. So 6 business days on the following Thursday, those leads are then mailed out. You want to allow at least 2 weeks after that day of the mail drop for those response cards to start coming back. Again, it's third class, but you want to give it a couple weeks before you expect those to start coming back. Again, I mentioned earlier, you have to have an appointment with Transamerica, and you will be notified of the final mail quantity and the total cost about a week before those leads are mailed out. So you put your credit card information on the lead order form. You indicate to us how many leads you want. We go out and we pull based on those zip codes you're asking for, but we reassure and let you know the actual count that you'll end up paying for. So if there aren't 1,000 leads in those zip codes you've asked for, we're not going to charge you for all 1,000. The response rates, of course, are not guaranteed. We have no control over that, obviously. So the actual lead order form is pretty straightforward. The first section is going to be your information as the agent. The ordering information, there is where you're going to include the zip codes where you want those leads pulled from. The demographics, you need to indicate that as well on the order form. And then you sign it, you put your agent number on there and date it, and then your credit card information, of course. And then on the second page, you print some of the same information. And again, those will be submitted to Levinson's, and Joe or one of the folks at the office will send those. We'll go ahead and email that on in. So the next step, how do I get my leads? How do I know? Well, you can go out and retrieve those lead response cards, and here's what happens. You can expect them again to begin arriving about 2 weeks after the mail date. We have a website, and it's taseniors.com. So what's going to happen is once you place your first lead order, Transamerica is going to contact Joe and give him a login and a password, and he will pass that on to you because it will be yours uniquely individual. So after a few weeks, once those leads have been dropped, you would go and sign in, log in to taseniors.com, and you just simply click on Retrieve Lead Cards. And that's where you're going to see the actual leads that had been returned and had been scanned into the system based on your individual barcode. Joe? Next slide, please. Okay. So with that, you can enter a date range, or you can choose how many lead cards you want to retrieve. We strongly encourage you to stay on top of that and to call those folks while they're still hot. Make sure you get in contact with the people who have responded with interest as soon as possible, because that is going to definitely guarantee or going to help a much better sales success ratio the sooner you call on those people. Okay. Next slide, please. Here is a little bit of a closer shot of the actual response, the lead response card. And it kind of just gives you a little bit more information of what they might be more interested in hearing about. And that could help you determine a little bit more kind of your sales approach as you go to call on them. You are required to meet face-to-face with the Solution Final Expense products. So just a few Q&As we've got up on the screen. If I place an order for 1,000 leads to a specific county or a group of zip codes, will the leads get distributed evenly? And the answer is we randomly take a portion from each zip code to reach out to the requested amount. A zip code with more potential leads will end up with a higher percentage of the order than the other zip codes. So the distribution may not always be even between the zip codes. Can you prioritize which zip codes you want mailed first? Unfortunately, no. All zip codes listed on your order form are going to be randomly solicited. If you want a specific number of leads to be sent to a particular zip code, then a separate order would be required. Who do we exclude from that lead mailing list? We will exclude any leads that have already been solicited that we're aware of in the past 90 days in your requested area. And additionally, we do not solicit to any P.O. boxes. So that should help as well. When will my credit card be charged? You'll be notified via email of the final quantity and the total cost approximately a week before the leads are mailed out. And you must give your approval in order to proceed, and your card would be charged at that time. Turnaround time again, all orders that are placed by noon Eastern on Wednesdays will mail out the following Thursday, 6 days later. Adhering to an order calendar and mailing only on specific days is what allows our program to be cost efficient, and it helps get the maximum postage discounts, again, to keep costs down. So we've got a screen that also kind of gives you an idea of that calendar and the cutoff time as well. There we go. So in other words, if you have your lead order in anytime, but by next Wednesday, the 22nd, and keep in mind you're going to need to give Levinson's office some time to get that processed and get that emailed in to us. So if they need to establish a different cutoff time for you, they may do so. Maybe they need you to get the orders in by 10 o'clock Wednesday or maybe even Tuesday at close of business. That's totally, part of their call, of course. But as long as we have them by noon on Wednesday, then that lead order will actually be placed the following Thursday, October 30th. So there's 1 week, and again, we encourage you to allow about 2 weeks in addition to that for those leads to start coming back. So could take 2 to 3 weeks from the time that order is placed before you're going to get those responses start coming back into your TA Seniors website. And I think the final slide basically just kind of gives Joe's contact information, and there's also some, if there's any website support or questions regarding that lead retrieval that Joe or I cannot help answer, then our contact person that helps with these orders is Ursula Shipley. And so we can always get in touch with her and get you answers. So that kind of covers the Final Expense products and Transamerica's LEAD program, and I hope if you have any additional questions, feel free to let Joe or Carrie or Bill know, and I would be more than happy to try and help answer those. And we're really looking forward to a successful spike in business, hopefully because of the LEAD program. So thank you all for your time this afternoon. And again, be sure and let us know if you have any questions we can help with.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Deb. Today's webinar, for all attendees, you will actually receive an email this afternoon